Have you ever noticed how certain things seem to happen at just the right time, as if the universe was silently guiding you? A message that arrives when you need it most. A number that keeps repeating like it's trying to tell you something. A dream that feels more real than the day itself. This isn't fantasy, and it's not just luck. It's destiny showing up in the form of signs. And Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in depth psychology, explained exactly why these coincidences are anything but random. The name for it: synchronicity. The invisible code that links what you feel inside with what happens around you. The real problem is, you were taught to ignore it. You grew up hearing that everything needs to be logical, that feeling too much is a weakness, that if it can't be measured, it can't be trusted. But that mindset disconnected you from your most powerful compass, your intuition. And while you keep trying to rationalize everything, life is trying to show you there's a hidden script, and it's unfolding right in front of you. Only instead of accepting the invitation, you call it coincidence and keep walking like nothing's happening. But it is. Destiny is speaking. The question is, are you still pretending you don't understand? This video is for anyone who's ever felt, even in silence, that something greater is trying to reveal itself. For those who've experienced moments where the universe seemed to conspire, but didn't know how to interpret them. Here, you'll learn how Jung decoded this phenomenon, how to recognize the right signs, and most importantly, how to align your energy so destiny can speak more clearly. Because understanding this might be the shift you've been waiting for, the one that takes you off autopilot and finally into a life of purpose. And maybe, just maybe, this video is exactly what the universe wanted you to find today. Coincidences? That's what most people call those mysterious encounters that happen when we least expect them. But Carl Jung saw something much deeper. To him, these coincidences carried powerful symbolic meaning. He called them synchronicities. A simple example: you think of someone you haven't seen in years, and suddenly you get a message from them. That's not just a random event, it's destiny trying to get your attention. And the truth is, if you start paying closer attention, you'll realize this happens more often than you think. Jung believed synchronicities are the way the universe speaks to those who are ready to listen. That strange recurring dream, that song that plays right when you're thinking of giving up, or that book that feels like it was written just for you. These are all signs, tiny codes from the unseen that together reveal a bigger storyline, a storyline you might be living without even realizing it. And the moment you start asking, why is this happening right now? That's your first step. The most fascinating part is that these signs don't care about timing or setting. They can show up while you're doing the dishes, crossing the street, or in the middle of a casual conversation. What changes everything is your level of awareness. Because here's the thing, destiny doesn't shout, it whispers. And only those who quiet the noise of everyday life and begin to see through a different lens can truly hear it. Now, if these coincidences have so much to say, maybe your next step is to understand how they really work and what they're trying to show you. Many people expect destiny to show up in some grand divine way, like a revelation with flashing lights in the sky. But that's not how it works. Carl Jung realized that destiny reveals itself through subtle signs, almost imperceptible, yet deeply meaningful. And these signs don't follow a set formula. They show up as recurring dreams, as encounters that feel far too unlikely to be random, as phrases repeated by different people that all carry the same message. Sound familiar? It's not luck, it's code. Some signs have the power to stop you in your tracks. A good example is when you're thinking of moving to a new city, and out of nowhere, you keep hearing stories about people who did just that and completely changed their lives. Or when you're uncertain about a relationship, and a scene in a movie hits you so hard it feels like it was written just for you. These moments are like invisible nudges, and Jung called this synchronicity, when what happens outside reflects what's happening inside. To begin recognizing these signs, you have to slow down. One powerful practice is to start a synchronicity journal. Write down anything that feels odd, repetitive, or symbolic. Repeating numbers, animals that cross your path, conversations that seem random but speak directly to your current situation. This builds a more sensitive radar, and the more you practice, the clearer the signs become. And the most fascinating part, once you start noticing, the universe starts speaking louder, and then you begin to understand that these clues aren't random. They're coordinates, and they're leading you somewhere specific. Carl Jung introduced the world to a revolutionary concept, the collective unconscious, a kind of spiritual Wi-Fi that connects all human souls through symbols, archetypes, and shared experiences. In this invisible field, the signs that destiny sends aren't just personal. They're part of something much greater, something that links your journey to millions of others. When a synchronicity happens, it's not just a message for you. It's the manifestation of something resonating throughout the world, as if the soul of the universe were responding to your deepest thoughts. That's why certain images, sounds, or moments strike us so deeply. Have you ever been moved by a song without knowing why? Or felt that an ancient symbol was speaking to you even though you couldn't explain how? That's because your soul recognizes it. The collective unconscious is constantly trying to give you answers, but it doesn't speak in words. It speaks through signs, through living metaphors, through that sudden chill down your spine, through that number that keeps showing up, through that random event that shifts everything. Once you understand this, you realize that destiny isn't a straight line, but a dance between what you feel inside and what unfolds outside. It's as if the universe were a mirror, reflecting your energy and intentions, but in a language few ever learn to interpret. Jung understood this. He didn't see life as something random, but as a sequence of clues left behind by a greater mystery. Clues that only become clear to those willing to look beyond logic. And that's where the shift happens. Because when you ignore the signs, the universe doesn't stop speaking, but it starts using a different voice. Some people are always saying, "Oh, it's just in my head," or "It's probably just a coincidence." And in doubting the signs, life keeps moving on, and destiny grows quiet until it can't stay quiet anymore. Carl Jung warned us, what you resist persists. In other words, the more you ignore the calling, the louder it becomes, but over time the signs turn into shocks, a work crisis, an unexpected breakup, an illness that forces you to stop. All of these might be life screaming what it once only whispered, and those who don't listen closely end up learning the hard way. It's as if the universe keeps offering chances, but we, distracted or skeptical, cling to the illusion of control. The thing is, control is exactly that, an illusion. You can pretend everything's fine, but your soul knows when something's out of place. And it starts sending you warnings. First come the strange dreams, then the internal tension, and finally, that emptiness that no success can fill. Ignoring the signs of destiny is like driving with the GPS turned off. You might end up somewhere, but chances are it won't be where you were meant to go. So if you feel like life has been trying to tell you something, but you keep forcing yourself down another path, maybe it's time to stop. Stop overanalyzing, stop trying to be right, stop running. Because ignoring what your intuition is screaming is like putting duct tape over a siren. The noise doesn't go away. And the universe, it'll keep sending messages. The real question is, how long will you keep refusing to hear them? Because sometimes all destiny needs is for you to take one step, just one, and everything changes. If destiny is always trying to speak to you, why does it sometimes feel like everything's gone silent? Simple. It's not that the universe stopped speaking, it's that you may have drifted away from the right frequency. Carl Jung believed that in order to perceive synchronicities, you need to be in a more receptive, conscious internal state. And that doesn't happen when your mind is noisy, full of fear, anxiety, and judgment. Want to hear the signs more clearly? Start by silencing the inner noise. Practices like meditation, conscious breathing, and moments of solitude make a huge difference. You can also strengthen this channel through simple habits. Start by keeping a synchronicity journal. Write down every curious event, repeating pattern, dream, or gut feeling. By doing this, you not only train your perception, but also send a message to the universe. I'm paying attention. And the universe, like any great teacher, responds to those who show a willingness to learn. Also, seek deeper conversations. Read authors like Eckhart Tolle, Neville Goddard, and Jung himself. The deeper you dive into self-awareness, the clearer the signs become. And here's something important. Aligning your energy isn't just about feeling peaceful. It's about acting in alignment with who you truly are. That means making decisions based on intuition, trusting your inner knowing more than your fears. It's about stopping the chase for things that don't resonate with your essence, just because everyone else is doing it. Destiny starts speaking louder when you decide to live in truth, not behind a mask. And when you choose that path, synchronicities stop being rare events and start becoming the main language of your life. And maybe now, more than ever, you're finally ready to understand what they've been trying to show you all along. Now tell me, after everything you've just heard, are you really still going to call it coincidence when it's clearly a calling? Are you really going to ignore the chills, the synchronicities, the signs from destiny, as if they were just random body reactions or things in your head? Because if you've made it this far, it means some part of you already knows. The universe has been speaking to you for a long time. The real question is, what are you going to do about it now? Are you going to start writing down the signs that show up? Will you start paying closer attention to the dreams that feel like messages? Will you let yourself feel more and think a little less? Because when you begin trusting your intuition, everything changes. You start living at a different pace, on a higher frequency. And if you've ever experienced something that gave you deep, undeniable chills, drop it in the comments. What's the strongest coincidence you've ever lived through, the one that made you stop and think, this can't just be chance? I want to hear your story. I want to know what the collective unconscious, as Jung would say, has been trying to reveal to you. And if this video stirred something inside you, if it resonated on any level, do this. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because in the next videos, I'll keep uncovering the hidden codes behind your reality. And I promise you, the more you align with this energy, the more the universe responds. So if you felt like this content was a sign, maybe it's time to follow the flow. Destiny has already started to reveal itself. Now, it's your move.